First of all, it started out as a company called Jonathan Manufacturing Corporation. It's now Jonathan Engineered Solutions because that represents more who we are as a company. And the thought process there was with the technology that's available today, with the internet, the opportunity as well as the demand to do custom manufacturing and custom engineering is reached a point where that is the norm, or it should be the norm.
Jonathan focuses on the creation of movement and access solutions for our customers. So what we're taking a look at is critical issues associated with moving complex things in complex ways.
So what we've been able to do as a company is satisfy the needs of companies that require a custom product.
Jonathan services three primary markets. The industrial market, which is anything you might imagine from refrigerators to business jet aircraft. We serve the military market, Department of Defense, Homeland Security, which can be anything from shipborne applications to motorized vehicles in the field. And then finally, we also serve the technology industry, which would be rack-mounted servers and other devices that go into server farms or data storage areas. Our primary focus is on movement and access problems that those customers have.
The quality management system that we've put in place allows us to do any military contract type work, any sub-assembly work, whether it be from the military or aerospace, within the framework of either AS9100 or ISO 9000.
One of our key differentiators is our ability to communicate directly with our customers' engineers. We have a relationship between our application design engineers and the customer's application design engineers.
And they're working on very complex mechanical problems around access and movement. So for that reason, all of our field staff is also mechanical engineers. They focus with them and can talk the same language that our customers have. So a complex engineering problem is essentially a conversation that takes place between our field sales engineer and our customer's engineering staff.
At Jonathan, we have a state-of-the-art engineering infrastructure as far as our 3D capabilities, our 2D capabilities, and then also our capabilities to quickly generate prototypes. And what we have is the ability to go from quick concept generation in a 3D database to an actual physical model within a day.
You take that and you say, okay, now I also have to have the ability to manufacture what they design or the solution they come up with on a cost-effective and an expedient basis. And I need to do that in a way that it gets the product to that customer, whether it's in the continental United States or whether it's in Asia or in Europe, on a very cost-effective basis. So we needed to locate our manufacturing predominantly in either Mexicali, Mexico, where we have a corporation that's under a maquiladora type of a concept, or in Taiwan, where we have some very strong production partners.
Well, our manufacturing operations, as it primarily sits in Mexicali, Mexico, is really tailored toward short-run, high-mix, low-volume product lines. We have over 11 CNC machinery for the aluminum fabrication areas and about 18 dedicated roll form lines in the steel manufacturing part. Each of those are set up as a lean manufacturing cell so that you can actually pick up and move the equipment around as you need to in order to customize the product coming off each line. With our Asia operations on the manufacturing perspective, we actually have manufacturers set up and aligned with us in Asia, both in Taiwan and mainland China. For the most part, they do the high volume, high run product lines. Our sourcing capabilities have been able to allow us to put together a vendor base to support those manufacturing operations, such as plastic components, sub-assemblies, stamping, tooling, etc., so that within mainland China and within Asia itself, we're actually fully sustained in order to support all those manufacturing operations that we have.
We also need to be able to get that product to market very rapidly. So in the design process, we use both Pro-E and AutoCAD CAD type capability in creating these models. So with the models that we're creating, we can in turn take that and in many cases transmit that directly into instructions to a machine that enables us to make that product in a much more rapid fashion than, say, you could 10, 15 years ago.
At Jonathan, we have state-of-the-art 2D and 3D technology infrastructure, which allows our engineers to go from concept generation to a physical model within a day. And there's two types of prototype development that we do at Jonathan. We have a rapid prototype, which actually is a quick physical model where the engineer can take a look at the design, not necessarily use it, but they'll be able to see what it looks like and what it feels like. The next phase, they'll actually do a physical prototype, which would be cutting metal, and they'd get a true representation of what they will receive.
What we call our QRT, which is our quick response team, and our prototyping is all located in our Mexicali facility. It's fully self-sustained, where it has all of the equipment necessary in place, along with the dies and features in order necessary to put whatever customization is going on, especially within a prototype. Normally we turn the prototypes around in just a matter of 7 to 10 days, depending on the complexity of it. And what that allows us is, with the engineering's cooperation and help, they send down 3D models, and we're able to extract that and pull it out so we can set up our laser equipment, our sheet metal operations, and also the test facility for whatever parameters are required.
That expanded facility is really taking all of that and saying, I can move that product, in many cases, all the way through the process from raw steel or raw aluminum extrusion all the way to finished product within 24 hours. I can also much more rapidly move from the idea, the model if you would, that now satisfies the customer's requirements, to a prototype that they say, yeah, physically it satisfies the requirement, to an actual production unit that meets their needs, and do that in a very compressed time frame.
Showed a sign of the times to come was the fact that we took some Actron business, a strong competitor's business, away from them because we could deliver in less lead time. You know, we could deliver in 4 or 5 weeks, and they're out at 14 weeks. So that's a really strong thing to say about our organization.
Now going back for a second to what we're doing in Irvine, the idea there is that we've got a capability of doing a lot of things under one roof. And the way that we're setting up the facility in Irvine is a very open environment. So there's rapid interchange of information. There's sort of a team idea involved there. And in fact, the way that we cluster the teams gives us the flexibility that we can say, okay, today, this is how we best meet our customers' needs. 6 months from now, that marketplace may have changed, that we need to have the flexibility to reform those teams into a different group. And that's what we're really accomplishing by moving into what we call a very open office space, where furniture is all on wheels.
It's going to work for all of you because it's ergonomically correct. And so you'll be able to sit on your chair, so your chair rolls, your desk rolls, and we can reconfigure your teams all together anytime we want to.
That's exciting. That's exciting because it constantly allows us to adapt to the customer, because that's where the business is. The location also speaks to the quality of individual that we want to keep and that we want to attract into Jonathan. So we're looking at very well-educated, high-energy individuals that have high expectations, because we have high expectations of them. This environment, not only from a location standpoint, but from the quality of the facilities, really gives us that.
We have a very broad set of customers, literally hundreds of different companies that we do business with in our different markets, industrial, tech, and military. The size of the deals that we work on and the type of things we work on can be very, very short run, a few pieces, a few small solutions, to extremely long run, multi-year projects. So the diversification of our customer base, our ability to supply them in a very broad range, is a real advantage that we can give to our customers by working with us.